What is good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome to another video. Today we've got some great information like always, so let's go ahead and get right into it. And we are starting off with the Japan best-selling games of August 2018. We just pretty much wrapped up or wrapping up August. So looking at some of the best-selling games for that month, it's interesting to see the dominance that Nintendo's 2017 games have had on this year's charts, especially with this past month. If you look at it, Splatoon 2 sold almost 100,000 copies in Japan for the month. This is a year plus after the game is released, in one region selling over 100,000 units, or selling right at 100,000 units. That's absolutely incredible. But if you go down this list, it's pretty much dominated by the Nintendo Switch. Look at number 2 and number 3. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with almost 100,000. Then also Minecraft with nearly 100,000 as well. But even WarioWare Gold, so the 3DS out of all systems and devices out there, getting into the 4th spot. But then you also have Taiko Drum Master. There's also the baseball game, Mario Tennis Aces, Octopath Traveler coming in at number 11 as well with another 47,000 units. You have to remember that game actually launched in July, so it's continuing to have those great sales even into August, and that's exactly what you want to see from a third-party new IP when they're trying to kind of get more into the Nintendo Switch business with a brand new development studio over there at Square Enix. Going down this list, stuff like Kirby Star Allies, you also have Super Mario Odyssey, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Captain Toad, just a lot of different Nintendo Switch games littered all over the charts here. And as someone who predominantly plays on the Nintendo Switch, I have other systems as well, but I predominantly play the games just because of time constraints. That's also another thing, is I just don't have a ton of time like I used to play all the different games out there. I want to see more games come over. I want to see third-party developers take shots like Octopath Traveler. I want to see more of them take ports like Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Dana and other games to come over to the Switch. So you want to see these great software sales, whether it's a first party, third party, and we all know that the Nintendo Switch is already kind of dominating the Media Create sales charts when it comes to system sales, Switch versus PlayStation 4, 3DS, PS Vita, and all of that. So once again, great to see the Nintendo Switch doing so well, selling so many different variety and types of games. And will this continue on? Because if you look at October, there's a lot of bigger games that are going to be selling predominantly in the October region. For example, Dragon Ball Fighters, which launched at the end of September, but October is going to be when you're really going to see the sales numbers kind of come in. Then you also have Valkyria Chronicles 4. There's also The World Ends With You Final Remix. All those games launched at the end of September, so it's going to be interesting to see how they sell over the course of the month in Japan. You have Starlink with the whole Star Fox stuff going on there, so Japan's not as big on Star Fox as the West, but still you have that game coming out. But I think Super Mario Party is going to be the big seller in Japan for October, just because of the style of the game, the Nintendo Switch, people buying multiple units, Nintendo actually selling Nintendo Switch systems as like a portable device without a dock in Japan. I think a lot of people are going to pick up an extra Switch or two for the family because of Super Mario Party and kind of what you can do with that game. There are certain games that use 2 Nintendo Switches, or you can use 2 Nintendo Switches to connect the games. So that's also something that kind of plays into the sales and kind of how a game can do. Maybe even people buying 2 copies of games for online play for a friend and everything like that. So awesome to see. Great sales numbers across the board. Splatoon 2 continues to dominate the sales charts well afterwards. This is the most successful shooter in Japan pretty much almost ever, right? For the most part, I can't think of a recent game. Maybe there's been other games, but I can't think of a recent game shooting wise, third person or first person, that has had this much success in Japan. That's like not some type of RPG shooter or something like that. But even if you count that in, nothing's been like Splatoon. Splatoon is a revolution in that country. So great to see it continue to do well. Nearly 100,000 units for the month, and I don't think it's going to slow down. I think we're going to see Splatoon 2 at the top of the charts, always selling anywhere from like 15 to 20,000 units or so. Octo expansion probably doing really well too. So great stuff all around. So what do you guys think about the Japanese sales charts with Splatoon 2 and a lot of the other Nintendo Switch games on the list? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, and moving into the next topic here, Sega has commented on Shenmue 1 and 2 HD potentially coming over to the Nintendo Switch. In a recent interview, here's what they had to say on the matter. The fans have really shown their love for Shenmue, and for that, I really am grateful. Personally, I think it'd be great if you could play Shenmue on the Nintendo Switch anywhere. One of the other developers added on with, whether or not we can do something like that in reality, we're taking the fans' opinions and considerations. Following up on that might take some time, but it's definitely something I want to consider. So this definitely seems like they want to do Shenmue 1 and 2 on the Nintendo Switch and are kind of just putting the business plans together, when it's going to be done, who's going to be working on it, and all of that. It doesn't really make too much sense to keep Shenmue off of the Nintendo Switch. This game necessarily wasn't a huge seller on PS4, Xbox One, or anything like that, and Shenmue's never been one of those huge franchises that's going to pull a lot of numbers, but it has a very dedicated and hardcore fan base, and I think a lot of them would like a portable type of Shenmue experience. I don't think Shenmue's ever been on any dedicated portables or dedicated systems out there that you can play that wasn't some type of like Windows PC that you can take anywhere, but like a real dedicated system like a PS Vita or something like that. It's never been on anything. So the fact that this could potentially come over for those hardcore Shenmue fans might be something of interest. Now, I've talked about Shenmue myself a couple different times. Shenmue 1, Shenmue 2, Shenmue 3. I played the games and it's really not my thing. It's not my style of game, but at the same time, I think bringing over Shenmue would be great, and it looks like they're trying to put together the plans for that. I do feel that maybe they're taking a little bit too much time on that. I don't think it should have been something that needs to come this far afterwards, considering how great the Nintendo Switch is doing, and considering that you have it on the Xbox One. I mean, I'm pretty sure people would rather play Shenmue for the most part. You're going to get more sales and everything on the Nintendo Switch, but you also have to factor in that these games were really in development for a long time. Sega has been notoriously slow with doing this. Shenmue 1 and 2 HD should have came out in the 7th generation, not the 8th generation. The fact that it's taken this long to even see these games remastered in HD just kind of shows you how slow Sega is when it comes to Shenmue and that franchise. There's really been nothing for the longest time. So I can understand how there wasn't a Switch version, how there's not necessarily the plans at this point, and they're probably just taking the time and getting the business plan ready and seeing who's going to be able to do that port. So I would expect an announcement in 2019 and a release in 2019 for Shenmue 1 and 2 HD. They said that they're taking fans' considerations and their thoughts, so essentially port begging. That's what they're trying to say, like, oh, well, if they keep on asking us and what they're thinking, then okay. But I feel that should just be something that's default. Look at the Switch, look at how it's selling, look at what it's doing, and then yes, you want to sell your game to people. So I get it, you're looking at the fans because Shenmue is a very fan-driven style of game, but at the same time, I mean, there's money to be made. Whether you guys want to take it or not, that's up to you guys and Sega. I'm not going to ask for it, but hey, if they want to bring it over, that's cool for all the Shenmue fans out there. So what do you guys think about Shenmue 1 and 2 and what the producers had to say on the matter? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, and moving into the final topic here, the Digimon Survive developers have discussed what the importance of choice is in the overall experience, because if you don't know, there's a brand new Digimon game coming out to the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. It's called Digimon Survive, but this one's a little bit different because your choices are going to impact the story, how you progress, and even the endings in the game. So it's a very different style of Digimon game that's coming out. So here's what the first developer had to say on the matter about the choices and impact. In an adventure portion of the game, the player can move from area to area and interact with the characters there. There, the player can advance the story by checking objects and gathering information. Over the course of the game, the protagonists will also find themselves in situations where they have to make choices, and based on those choices, the story will change. Characters may even die due to their players' choices. In making this game, we found that we can do a lot more than the anime would have allowed. The choice-centric system really emphasizes the tension that comes with having to survive, and I absolutely love the fact that there's going to be choices that are that impactful. The fact that you can have characters die if you don't make the right choices, if you don't survive or what they're trying to pull off in this game. That's really cool. Reminds me of Mass Effect, which you have to be very careful with your choices in that game, because if you do make the wrong choices, you can have people pass away at the end or even sometimes during the game. So let's get into the multiple endings and kind of what they talked about there. So here's what one of the other developers had to say on that. Due to the sheer number of choices the player will have to make over the course of the game, we couldn't accomplish what some might expect out of the game with multiple endings. The scenario unfolds as you play the game, and right now we're working on about 3 different routes though. so. And right now we're working with about 3 routes, though we're thinking that if we can, we'd like to add an extra one. So 4 potential different outcomes of the ending based on what route you're kind of taking and the choices that you do. This Digimon game has me the most excited that I've been for a Digimon game in a very long time. Since I think like the first like PlayStation Vita Digimon games came out, I was really excited about those, and I played them back when I had a Vita, and they were okay, but this one just seems to be a lot more my style. You guys are checking out the gameplay here. You see that Fire Emblem type of strategy RPG with the cool, clean anime aesthetic, nice and animated. It just looks really good, and I'm loving the decisions and choices that you're going to have with the freedom. And I'm not a big fan of Digimon, and I've never been a big fan of Digimon. I was a Pokemon guy growing up as a kid and still like the franchise to this day, but this Digimon Survive game is trying something new that's caught my interest because I do love Fire Emblem. So I'm excited to see what they make of this game. It's coming to Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC. It's coming to everything here in the States. In Japan, it's only PlayStation 4 and the Nintendo Switch. So what do you guys think about Digimon Survive and kind of what they're trying to do with this game? Are you guys excited about it? Interested in trying it out? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, Ninja, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and check out the links in the description below. We got Facebook and Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Really helps us spread the content of PlayerEssence across the internet in addition to YouTube. Also, make sure you check out our Patreon, Twitch, and YouTube live gaming pages and consider supporting PlayerEssence. When you do so, it gets you access to all sorts of cool benefits, perks, rewards, and emotes via YouTube sponsorship. So check out the link in the description below and consider supporting PlayerEssence right here on YouTube. Hit that like button if you did like this video. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for latest RPG, Japanese, and Nintendo gaming news. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you for the next video. Peace.